Okay, so this session will totally be for beginners. The total session is framed in a way in which it will be very easy for beginners to step into web development. So first, let me introduce myself. I am Kumaraguru T from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and I am currently pursuing my second year computer science engineering at Coimbatore. And I am the leader of SKCET's Hack Club, and I'm enthusiastic about cybersecurity, ML, and design, and I'm a certified ethical hacker, and I've also got some prizes in some hackathons, and I've got some allocates. And below are some of my social media handles where you can get back to me if you have any queries or anything of that sort. And yeah, so before going into the session, so the prerequisites is there are no technical knowledge required for this event. This session is totally framed in a way for peeps who are new to coding. So if you are new to coding, you can always be free to ask questions and clarify your doubts then and there. So it is encouraged to have a laptop so that you can try simultaneously if you want. So the session objectives, uh, the following will be the session objectives where you will be understanding the skills demanded to be a web developer, and you will be knowing what is the role of a web developer, and you will be knowing an overview about the technologies used in web development and a lot more. And at the end of the second day, I promise that you will be having your own portfolio website available on the internet with your name. So if someone goes to your portfolio website, they can see a small resume kind of thing about you, where they can, this portfolio websites can boost your placements and job opportunities to a great extent, because it makes you stand off from other participants. And in today's challenging world, it is important to have a portfolio website of your own. So the agenda for today will be the following. First, we'll be seeing about what is web development. The second thing is that what we'll be trying to find out what kind of a developer you are and which kind of a developer you can be. And the third thing is that we'll be seeing about the technology stacks used in web development. And the fourth thing is that we'll be seeing how a website works. And then we'll be following up with the steps involved in web development and setting up your development environment. And after that, we'll be moving on some hands-on session by making a hello world with just HTML. And then we'll be going on with some mind-blowing tools that can be useful in web development. And at the last, we'll be seeing an introduction to GitHub. And in tomorrow's session, it will be more of a practical session where you'll be building your own portfolio website. So starting with, so what is a web developer and what is web development? On a simple context, web development is nothing but the process of making a website, web app, or web-based services. So what are websites and web apps? Is there something, are they different from each other, or are they the same? So usually every page that loads on your browser is called a web page, and a collection of web pages are called as websites. So web apps are usually referred to complex websites. Like if the website is like really simple without a lot of functionalities, and if it is just going to display some static content, it is called as a website. But if it has some dynamic content, and if it is having some complex infrastructure behind, it is called a web app. So examples of websites, as you know, Google is obviously a website that we use every day. Hackclub.com is a website, facebook.com is a website, and you've got a lot like that. So let me check if you guys have any questions in the chat box. Okay, maybe we can have the Q&A session at the end, or maybe someone from the organizers can just turn on their mic and ask the questions if they have anything from the chat box, because I won't be able to see the chat box when I like pressing the screen.
Yes, go on. We will inform you as soon there is any question.
Okay, so the first step that we'll be doing today is we'll be trying to find out what kind of a developer you are. So each of us will be interested in various domains, and we'll be like, we are different from each other, right? Like I may be liking to do creative stuff, and you may be liking to do stuff which needs a lot of logical operations and things like that. So basically, it is better to decide what kind of a web developer you are at the first, so that you can learn the demanded technologies and do your learning path as per the demands. So basically, in web development, there are three main categories. You can either be a front-end developer, back-end developer, or a full-stack developer. So in simple words, front-end developer is someone who focuses on the client side. Like front-end developer develops the visual part of the website. Whatever you see in the website, like you see google.com, you see the Google's logo, and you see a text box below for searching. All these are done by front-end developers. And the back-end developers are the people who work behind the screen. Like the back-end developers take care of all the functionalities and things that are not visually seen. The full stack developers, they are people who take care of both the front end and the back end along with developer operations. I can like explain you more about this in the upcoming slides. So as you see, front end developer, the three most important requirements are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This is at the base level. You'll be needing to learn more as you go on in the future. Like these three are the most important fundamentals for front end development. And then knowledge in front-end libraries and frameworks such as Bootstrap, React are also required. I'll tell you about libraries and frameworks maybe at the end of the session. It's actually some more bit complicated than what we are right now. So these are the steps for front-end development. Maybe you can like refer this at the end after I like complete today's session. So in a simpler context, as I said, a front-end development mostly deals in developing the visual part of the website. Whatever you see and whatever the website appearance is, you will be the front-end developer takes care of developing that. So yeah, the back-end developer will be needing to learn a programming language like JavaScript, Python, or PHP, and like languages which are compatible with the backend. So the backend developer will also have to need knowledge on basic networking, database, APIs, and frameworks, and a lot more stuff. So in simpler context, backend developers, actually, sorry for the typo. So backend developers mostly deal in developing the logics and the functionalities of the website. Whatever is not seen in the front part, backend developer will take care of everything that happens behind the screen. So for your simpler understanding, for a simpler understanding, you can like consider a front-end developer to be like a body and the back-end developer to be like a brain. So the front-end cannot think on its own without a back-end. Front-end is just a body without a head, maybe like it can't think on its own, can't store memory or anything of that sort. But the backend developer, he'll be the brain of the project. He'll be like instructing the body to do things, and it'll be the total functionality of your project. So if you are really creative and if you are really a very creative person, you can like obviously go with front-end development because it is for creative peeps. And back-end development, if you are good with logical reasoning and if you are really good with back-end programming, like how to make logics and things like that, you can like actually go try out with back-end development. And the technology stack that we'll be using throughout this workshop will be like really simple because we'll be covering it up for only for the beginners. So we'll be just using two scripting languages called HTML and CSS. So basically one thing, HTML is not a programming language. HTML is a scripting language because you can, I guess you will have some basic knowledge about C, Python, and languages like these. These are all called programming languages because they have logics involved. Like you must have heard about for loops, while loops, and things like that. But there is nothing of that sort in HTML or CSS. They are just scripting languages which are like the bones of a language. So as you can see here in a better example, HTML is like a skeleton. It will just provide a base layout to your website. And CSS is like a dress that the human wears. Like it will give a better appearance and an attractive appearance to your HTML. So the HTML ends with .html extension and the CSS ends with .css extension. So basically these are the two scripting languages that we'll be like seeing in our session today and tomorrow. So basically, how does a website work? So a website is nothing but a set of collection of HTML and CSS files, or maybe even more. When you like go with JavaScript, you can make more functionalities and things like that. But basically what we'll be seeing into this workshop is about HTML and CSS. So all these files are uploaded to a computer called server, which will be serving the users by displaying your website on their browser. Like after you make your HTML and CSS page based on our workshop, based on what you learn from our workshop, you can like simply host it to a server, a computer called server. The server will like get requests and give the data required to the browsers, and it will be like rendering the website in the browser. This is actually what happens when you like search for a website. Like if you type google.com, google.com is actually saved in a computer. That computer is called a server, and basically your request is transferred to that computer, and the computer serves your request in your browser. This is actually the whole back of the screen process for how a website works. So example, this is actually the URL of Gmail website, Google Mail website. So as you can see, I'm sure you might have seen these kinds of URLs in most of the places. So the first thing here is called the protocol, HTTPS or HTTP protocols. There are two types of protocols in basic browsers. Like HTTPS protocol is more secure over the HTTP protocol. So this is nothing but a set of rules. You don't have to have good knowledge about this maybe now. The most important parts are the last three here. So mail is the subdomain, and Google is the domain name, and .com is the domain. So I'll like explain more about this. .com, actually there are a lot more domains like .in, .uk, things like that. And .com is the most familiar domain for sure for all of you. So .com is the base level domain. This is the first level domain, which you will be able to get only if you are going to pay some amount and purchase the domain. Maybe there are vendors like GoDaddy, Hostinger, who sell domains and subscriptions for like monthly and yearly basis. And the domain name is actually the name of your organization or company or whatever. Like this is going to be the domain name, and subdomain is created from your domain. Like google.com has a lot of subdomains. Like we've got Google Meet, right? So meet.google.com will turn up Google Meet, and mail.google.com will turn up Google Mail, and things like that. So we actually have 4 simple steps involved in web development. This is according to me, which I try to keep things simple, and like I just have these 4 steps in my mind before making a website. So the first step is wireframing the site. Wireframing the site is nothing but let us consider you want to make a website for your college. So you just have to take a notepad and you just draw the website's layout, right? Like you will be like trying to draw what will be on the home page and what will be on the about us page and things like that, right? That is called wireframing of the site. And we have a special tool for that called Figma, which I will be using for wireframing the site. And the second step is creating the site source files. And source files in the context, we are referring to HTML and CSS files and JavaScript files and all those files. So once you create the source files, you can make use of an IDE. And the IDE, as Vikas said, it is an integrated development environment which can make it easy for you to develop any kind of web applications or softwares or anything. So the IDE that I'll be covering in my sessions is that it will be a very simple IDE and the most popular IDE called VS Code. And the third step is that you will be needing to test your website on your local environment. Like before deploying it into a website, you will have to test it if the website is going to work correctly for inside your computer. Once it is tested to work properly in your computer, you can like host it on a server. so that people, other computers can also access your website and have a look at them. So these are the 4 basic steps we'll be dealing with. Yeah. Yeah. So setting up the developer environment. So as I told, we'll be using an IDE, integrated development environment called Visual Studio Code, otherwise known as VS Code. So it is a very popularly used
Uh,
IDE, and
uh,
yeah,
Mr. Guru,
yeah,
there are some questions in the chat box. Okay,
yeah. Okay.
so actually there is a person who is asking what we will learn in these sessions. Okay, if you can answer this, please answer.
Just a minute. Let me see the question.
Uh,
Yeah. Uh, Actually, I'll be covering up most of the topics that I told today, except the backend. I will be covering up mostly the front end part, because the backend part, it won't be possible for us to cover the whole backend part in timestamp of 2 days. So we'll be seeing more about the front end part, and we'll be making a website for you, like a portfolio website which describes you, and people can like go to the website and get to know about you. And till again, so
Okay, there is
site
another
source. Yeah.
question about the
Yeah.
site source. What is?
Yeah, source, site source is nothing but the source code of the website. Like whatever program or whatever we develop, we have something called the source code, right? Like the code written to make the program. So in web development, for making websites, we use HTML as our base scripting language. Like it is the basic scripting language that you should learn for web development, HTML. So it is like very simple, and you will be able to learn maybe in this 2 sessions. And we'll also be having an overview about CSS, which will be used for styling. And yeah, I'll be getting back about these languages maybe in the few more slides. Yeah, so which language to grasp in the first semester? You are good to go with HTML and CSS. Actually, you can like follow up the session, and I'll be answering these questions maybe at the last 2. Yeah, guys, is there a way to like turn on annotations or something?
Okay, so whoever is
Yeah,
this,
I'm
please
actually
stop doing.
noting the names who are
Okay,
doing this
okay.
thing. It is
So,
Arun
Mr. Guru,
and
would you please stop
I
annotating?
guess.
I'm not sure how to stop annotating.
Okay, there is options on your screen in the above.
Yeah, yeah, found it.
Okay,
Found it.
go to the yeah. So
Okay. So VS Code is
Mr.
not well
Pratik, he
running,
will
and
tell you everything about it.
yeah, I'll guide you about how to install VS Code and things like that. Yeah. So setting up a basic developer environment is going to be our first step. I'll tell you how to do that now. Yeah.
I would request my team members to note the name of the person who just did annotations. Okay, we will handle that person and separately.
Yeah,
And
I just
others
removed that
too.
one, and I'm noting the names.
Okay, that will be we will complain about that person. Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So let us
please
go
don't do
on
these
to
things
the.
in the college club sessions.
Okay,
Okay,
maybe we
Mr.
can
Guru, you can
continue now.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let us try installing our IDE, which is called Visual Studio Code now. This will be our first step for entering into any kind of development. So just search for, you'll be able to find it if you search for Visual Studio Code in Google. So you can just go to their website, and you'll be having a stable build download here. Like just click this, and the download will get started. And it's just like a normal installation of any software. So like you can simply install this Visual Studio Code, and it is a very lightweight software, and I've already got it installed. So like I'll show you over here. So this is actually Visual Studio Code. So yeah, I'll just make a new, maybe I can make it later. So yeah, this is how it look when you like open Visual Studio Code for the first time. I'll explain how to use this IDE and things like that maybe in the upcoming slides. We'll be having a more of a practical session tomorrow. Today it's just going to be like setting up the development environment, and we'll be seeing some theory parts. So you don't have to worry about how to get started with Visual Studio Code today. So I also have some curated list of some mind-blowing tools that can be useful in web development. Like I've just added a few tools here, 5 tools over here. So yeah, REPL.it, the first tool, it is actually online IDE. If you are like using from your mobile, or if you don't have a laptop to like start into web development, you can like always use REPL.it. I'll just show you how to use that. Yeah, once you come into REPL.id, can like press this start coding button, and you will be displayed with a number of programming languages. You can like select this HTML, CSS, and JS, this thing, and create a REPL. So once the REPL is created, your IDE will like load up. So the difference between Visual Studio Code and this IDE is that this is a totally online IDE. You don't have to download anything, or you don't have to do extra setup things or anything like that. You just can like come inside REPL.it, make a REPL, and you can start creating your website. So maybe you can also make use of this. This is going to be the first tool that I discussed here. So the second tool is really interesting. So buildwith.com. Yeah. So just a minute. Yeah, so there are a lot of websites, right? We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, and there are a lot of websites. If you really want to know what is the technology used behind making those websites, you can like make use of this tool. For example, let me consider facebook.com. Yeah. So if you enter facebook.com, and like you'll be able to see what are the technologies. Just a minute, guys. Let us consider hackclub.com. Hackclub.com is the official website of Hack Club. So let us consider this website. Facebook.com is showing up some errors. So we'll consider this. Yeah. So these are the technologies that are used in building hackclub.com. They've used Google Analytics. They've used Airtable API, and they've used a number of things like this. The framework that they've used for building this website is Ruby on Rails. They've made use of some JavaScript frameworks also, like Next.js and things like that. So you can like have a look at all the technologies that are used in making this website. So this tool is really helpful, and you can also try finding out what your college website is built with. Like you can try understanding what are the languages and what are the frameworks used for building your college website. So the third tool is also really an interesting tool. So like CodePen.io. CodePen.io has pre-written codes for many web projects. Like you can search CodePen.io. Like if you want a login screen, you can like simply search for it, and you will be getting a ton of login screen websites that are made by other people. Like for example, let me consider this one. So you are getting the HTML code, CSS code, and JS code are required for building this particular website. So for example, here there is something called welcome, right? Let me just try changing this to login. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, we have the total code for this website, and you can like modify this code, and modifying the code will be the main resource for like learning on your own, because like starting from scratch, it will always be vague for beginners. But if you are like trying to modify the code built made by others, it will be a good start for you, and it will make things interesting for you, and you'll automatically get to learn many things. So you can try this CodePen.io actually. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. We have a question. Okay, so it's a question how to see code of any website. Okay, any website. How things are there.
Okay. So let us consider the same hackclub.com website. So you can
Yes.
actually right click over the website and you can go to view page source. And as you can see, this is actually not arranged or aligned in a correct way. So it is like just in one line, it is like in a horizontal way. But this is actually how you go to a website and find its source code. And you can also download the source codes of the website by like simply right clicking and saving the page as, and you can simply give a name for it, and the website will be like saved over there in your local system. Before you like go on downloading or saving the website on your local device, it is advised to like have a little bit knowledge about HTML and CSS so that you don't get confused or you don't get really messed up when you see the code. So it is better you be like learn HTML first and then you start doing all these. Yeah, is there any more question here? Yeah, you can also use inspect as you say.
Okay, there is another question from
Yeah.
someone. Okay, so he says, which language to learn in first year to strengthen your fundamentals?
So as I told, in web development, HTML and CSS are not programming languages. They are just scripting languages. Scripting languages are like very easy and you can like complete them in 1 or 2 days maybe. But programming languages, they have a lot of concepts and you will have to take some time for learning those. I'll advise you to get started with C or C language, or you can also get started with Python, because Python is very beginner friendly and it is also efficient. So I'll advise you to get started with Python. It is also a very good recommendation for starting in the first year. So we'll continue with our mind-blowing tools, and the fourth tool that we'll be seeing today is Bootstrap Studio. So this is actually a no-code solution. Like yeah, like you don't have to code everything that is on the website. Maybe just I can download it. Yeah, actually you should go to bootstrapstudio.io and just a minute please. I guess the web version should be okay. I've exhausted the trial period, so like I'll just show the demo over here. So Bootstrap Studio is something like a no-code solution. You don't have to code everything on Bootstrap Studio. You just have to drag things from the right pane and drop it here. Like for example, if you want to place an image over here, you can like simply drag the images part over here and place it over here, so that you don't have to code a lot, and the coding part will be like really minimal. You will be like having to just concentrate on making the UI and things. So you can also try Bootstrap Studio on your computer. You can like make use of this. Actually, this doesn't come for me because I exhausted the trial period. So you can try doing this. And the last thing that I'll be showing today is Dribble.com. So Dribble.com is actually moreover for the designers more than developers. Like a designer and a developer, the major difference between a designer and a developer is that the designer doesn't have to code, but the developer has to code. The designer just has to do the UI and just the only thing that he'll be doing is wireframing. But for the developer, he'll also be needing to code. So yeah, I'm not sure what the website is. Yeah, 3Bs here, dribble.com. Yeah. Once you come here, you'll be able to see a lot of UIs here. Like, for example, if you want to see the UI of this one, you can like refer to this UI and you can like make use of this UI for implementing over your project. So there are tons of UI here, and this is the main tool, main website or forum used by designers. So you can also make use of this in your web projects. So regarding GitHub. Before going to GitHub, let us see
Mr.
an
Guru,
overview.
we have a questions. Okay,
Yeah.
so the question says, what is local host and what is the use of Apache?
Yeah. So local host. Just a minute. So here in our 4 steps of web development, we have the 4th step, which is testing it on our local environment. Local environment is nothing but seeing if the website works on your own browser. Before you deploy it on the internet, it is better to see if everything is okay on your own browser. For doing this, we'll run our website files on the local host so that we can verify that the website is working perfectly on our local machine before we host it on a server. So Apache is actually used, can also be used for creating a local host, or it can also be used for forwarding it to the internet. Like you can also use Apache as a server, or you can make use of your own computer as the server and you can host it over the internet. So but in our tutorial for today and tomorrow, we won't be making use of localhost or Apache. We'll just be making use of some local HTML files. I'll demonstrate how to do that. Yeah, so which service is good for hosting, Firebase or GitHub? So GitHub only hosts static pages, but Firebase has the ability to host dynamic pages as well. Actually, these are the topics that I'll be covering in tomorrow's session. Today is just going to be an introduction about what web development is. So how to make an e-commerce website with HTML and CSS. Maybe you can try making one after you attend tomorrow's session. Maybe in tomorrow's session you will be like only learning how to make your own portfolio with HTML and CSS. Yeah, I'll share you the resources for learning JavaScript in end of tomorrow's session. Okay, for now let us go into a small hands-on session where we like create a basic HTML scripting, and we like try to see how it actually works out. Yeah. Okay, so let us consider this is the folder where I'm going to have all my files required for my project. So let us try doing an Hello World project for today. So I'll just make a folder called Hello World. Once you go, create this folder, you can like simply drag this folder and place it over Visual Studio Code's icon so that Visual Studio Code opens its IDE on that folder. Or alternatively, you can go to File, Open Folder, and you can navigate to the folder that we created and press Select Folder so that your IDE is initialized on that folder. So once your IDE is initialized on that folder, you can like create a file here. Like we can name this file index.html. So index.html is going to be a very familiar HTML file for you. The index.html will be like referring to the base HTML file for your project. So let us create an index.html file. So in Visual Studio Code, one another option that impresses everyone is that we have something called emmet abbreviation. Like if you are going to add a small if you're just going to add this symbol here and press enter, it will automatically generate a HTML document for you. But since this is going to be a little more complex, let us start with the basics. So in a HTML file has things called tags. So tags are nothing but you have things between these angular braces. Like you have HTML tags. This is called HTML tags because like you have HTML in between these curved braces. And one another material that I would like to share here is that HTML doc. Yeah, if you go to this website, if you go to this website, you will be like htmldoc.com. You'll be able to see a lot of tutorials here. You can like press HTML tutorials here, and you'll be getting the most curated and easiest list of the HTML beginner tutorials, like getting started with HTML and things like that. So let us press on the first thing and we'll go with this flow. So yeah, so let us just copy this text and paste it inside our IDE. And I'm like saving this. I can go to file, save, or press Control plus yes. So once you do this, you can like simply open this. Just a minute. Yeah. You go into the folder and you see this HTML file over here, index.html. You can like open this index.html and you see this is my first web page over here. So there is no code or anything involved over here. We just have one line of text and it is displayed over here. So let us just try changing this to hello world, and we'll save this up and we'll reload this. So the changes are redirected here, and now now we'll be like seeing some of the tags. Like let us give h1 here, give hello world. Yeah, so now it is like a bit more bold and it looks like a heading. So we've got a lot of tags in HTML, like h1 tags. H1 tags are like for headings, and we've got a lot of tags inside HTML. HTML is mostly about tags, using tags and things. So basically starting from the scratch for creating a basic HTML template, every HTML file should begin with HTML. So this is HTML tag is going to be the starting and the last line of your HTML code. So once you create your HTML tag, give some spaces, and you can create your head tag. Head tag will be just right after the HTML tag. So inside the head tag, you can give properties like title. Title, let me give this as website. And yeah, let us see the changes over here. As you can see, the title of the website over here is now website. So this is how you configure the title, a default title with your own title with the use of title tag. So you can like have a body tag after this, and you can have an h1 tag and do a hello world. And yeah, you can see over here. And there are a lot more tags here. And just like this HTML file, for making this more attractive, we use something called the CSS file. For making the CSS file, you can make a file called style.css, and you can type your CSS coding over here. And there is a way for like linking this HTML file along with this style file. I'll be telling about how to link these two files in tomorrow's session. Today is just going to be an overview about the web development process. So as of now, we've just seen how to make a HTML file and how to make it open with your local environment or your browser. And we've also seen a number of tools that can be really helpful. Just like this, you can also use a REPL.it just like this. REPL.it is more advanced, to be honest. Though it is a web-based tool, it is providing you with more options and more functionalities. Like just go make a HTML project and wait for it to load. And as you can see inside the head tags, just ignore these tags. Let me remove it. Yeah, so right after the head tag, you got something called the body tag, where you will be placing all the necessary coding on your website. So head tag is just for configuring your website, linking your CSS and other scripts. So let us like just do the same code here. Just run it and you'll be able to see the changes live over here. So this is a better intuitive interface for beginners, and it will be more useful. And you've also got a lot of functionalities like version control, packages, and things like that. So we'll be seeing about version control and things tomorrow, and also about packages. We'll be also trying out a simple program with JS, JavaScript, and also CSS tomorrow for our portfolio. And today after this, we'll be like moving on to introduction to GitHub. So I'm sure every one of you must be familiar with this name GitHub. GitHub is like the Swiss Army knife of developers. Like everything you do with development, it has a part in GitHub or any kind of version control. So in very simple words, GitHub is a collaborative platform which can help you develop web projects as a team, not just web projects, any projects as a team. Like if, for example, let me consider me and my classmates, maybe 4 of us are like doing a web-based project. And we are all in remote locations and we want to collaborate together to make the project. So we can make use of GitHub for doing this. We can like simply create a GitHub repository where we'll be storing all our code and things necessary, and all of us can contribute to the project, and that is how it goes with GitHub. So GitHub, regarding the introduction, we'll just see an overview about it today. And one another point to note down is GitHub will be making use of GitHub to like host your portfolio tomorrow for free. Like hosting is not actually free by all the providers. Like if you are going to use GoDaddy or things like that, you will be required to pay some amount. But GitHub has a special feature called GitHub Pages where you can host static websites for free. So let us just go to GitHub, and today we'll just make an account with GitHub, and I'll just show you what are the things that are available with GitHub. So this is actually my GitHub. When you open GitHub, it's going to be something like this. So you'll have to sign up, and after you sign up, you'll be getting something more over this without all these things. These are actually my repositories and my projects that I've been doing. So I just have to create a new repository here. And when you create it, actually, you should press this new button, and it will ask you for your repository's name. For the repository name, you can like give anything that you want. Like, for example, let me give the repository name to be Hello World. So we can add an optional description, and you can say if the repository is public or private, and you can just create a repository. So as you can see, the repository is created, and this is the place where we'll be like uploading all the files and things that should be available on our website. So this is the basics of GitHub, and this is how you like make a very basic repository here. So for today, we'll wind up the session for today with this, and tomorrow we'll be getting hands-on with all the tutorials required for making your own portfolio website. The prerequisites for tomorrow is that you just need a laptop with an internet connection, and you will just have to follow up whatever I do on my Zoom call. So like can simultaneously try out doing the same on your side, and you can have your own portfolio at the end of the session. So let us come to the questions now. If you have any kinds of doubts or you can like, yeah. I have a question related to payload and Metasploit. Metasploit and payloads are like related to cybersecurity, which is like a different domain. We are just going to see about web development today. Yeah, I'll share this PPT in the group today. Maybe I can add more slides to make it better. So I'll just share it over the group. Yeah, the session is actually being recorded on, I guess it will be available on YouTube. How to add a repository in GitHub. Yeah, actually this is how we add a repository over GitHub. We just have to press this new button, and then followed by, we just have to give these instructions, the repository name and things, and create the repository. This is how you make a repository. But after you make a repository, uploading the files in the repository, we'll be seeing about that tomorrow. Once we make the files required for our website, we'll be uploading them to our repository. Udemy, a good place to learn languages. I would always suggest you to go with free resources available on YouTube. Adobe XD, good for wireframing. Yeah, Adobe XD is an alternative for Figma, but actually we actually at Hack Club have subscriptions for Figma Premium, so you can like make use of Figma more than Adobe XD, and I'm a lover of Figma more than Adobe XD. And
okay, as Guru said that we have access to Figma. We would be willing to give it to you free subscription of Figma if you guys make a project with us, and we will surely give you the free subscription of contest, where you will have to add you will have to contest with others. Okay, if you do a great job, we will give you Figma Premium.
Yeah, and you have a basic background with Python and you want to get started to web development. Yeah, you can like start with Flask or Django. Like they are the basic frameworks to work on web development with Python. So you can like check it out. And Udemy certificates, no certificate hold a value actually these days. Yeah, is Adobe Dreamweaver good for coding? I don't think Adobe Dreamweaver is something for creating software or something. Learn language or coding can like always lean on to YouTube. YouTube is the best resource where you can find free stuff and free tutorials. Meanstack or Monstack. I don't have an experience with Meanstack, but I have an experience with Monstack. Yeah. How server works on the web. So in simple words, server is nothing but a computer. The computer is like in a remote location. Like for example, let us consider a server to be at the US. So like when we upload the files to the server, the files, for example, our website files are like stored on the remote computer, which is located in US or anywhere. Like whenever a person searches for the website, for example, let us take GitHub. So GitHub is actually a website, right? So the source files of this GitHub is like stored on some remote server in some remote place. So whenever someone goes to this github.com, the request is sent to that computer, and that computer will serve you with the website's files so that it will be visible on your browser. So this is a basic background of how a website works. Any recommended channel to learn web development? You can make use of free coding. I'll just share the link to the channel. And where to learn DSL goes. I'm not sure about the data structures as well. Yeah, PyCharm. Yeah, it is a good idea for Python. Name of the wireframe. Yeah, I'll also show a quick demo about Figma here. So this is going to be Figma. So this is just used for wireframing. You can't develop softwares or develop websites with this, but you can just wireframe your ideas. Like you should just create a project and you can like create a frame. And since it is a desktop view of a website, we choose the desktop part here. And you can like simply make use of these tools, and like if you want to add a text here, you can like select the size of the text here, and yeah, this is just for wireframing, like how to place elements over your website. And just before starting into the development, it is better you wireframe the website and get an idea of what you are going to do with the website. What is a good language? Java or Python? I'm actually a fan of Python, and I don't think Java has a bigger future than Python. That is my personal opinion. So what type of projects we will be making tomorrow? So I can also give you a reference to another site in our Hack Club's website. Once you go to hackclub.com, which is our website, you can like see something called workshops over the navbar. You can just go to the workshops and you will be getting a lot of tutorials here. This is the best resource for you to get started with web development. Tomorrow we'll be like trying to see these tutorials. We'll be starting with this one called building a personal website, where you will be like building a personal website for you, and we'll be also hosting it over GitHub. So this is the schedule for tomorrow. We'll be having a detailed overview of how this website works and things like that. So which is the app you are using for framework? So I'm actually good with Python frameworks and also Monstack and Figma. It is actually Figma, not it's Figma. Figma.com. You can like Google for Figma and you'll be getting it. Figma is actually a free utility, but if you want to use their premium features, you will have to subscribe them. But we at Hack Club will give you a premium subscription for free. Basic difference between Java and Python. Both are programming languages, maybe with slightly different use cases. Python is widely used more than Java in today's development cycle. How to secure a website? To learn web security, it is actually a broader domain. Development to learn web security, you should like be well versed with web development. Only if you know how to make a website, you'll be able to find out how to break a website. So it is like web development is really necessary to step into web security. Best Python IDE, PyCharm is good actually. MERN actually for people who don't understand what MERN is actually an abbreviation of MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. So this is actually a framework based for framework based projects. Things we are doing over here is not with frameworks. It is just going to be something for like a very simple and beginner friendly projects. We don't use any frameworks or anything of that sort. We just use maybe three files like index and means HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. But if we go with a framework, it is used to build more complex web applications. Best framework for backend development, it depends on what you are proficient with, what language you are proficient with. What is SDBug program? I don't understand your question. Mohan, maybe I'll give some introduction to frameworks at the end of tomorrow's session. Yeah, is there any more question, guys, or can we wind up? Tomorrow's session will be hands-on experience for everyone. Today we just had an overview of what we'll be using tomorrow, but tomorrow it will be like we'll be starting our project from the scratch. We'll know how to set up an environment and how to start a project, and how to like you'll also understand the basics of HTML and CSS. PHP is actually a server-side programming language. Like PHP, you do this HTML and CSS stuff. PHP will enable you to add more functionalities in the backend for that. PHP can render HTML pages based on the instructions. So, and it is better not to go after PHP these days. There are better frameworks available to learn. That is in actually my personal opinion. Yeah, if the questions are over, can we wind up today's session then?
Yes, Guru, you can, no problem.
Okay, guys, I have some announcements from Hack Club CGC itself. So, am I audible? First, confirm it.
Yeah, Shaksham, you are audible.
Okay, so there are many doubts today, and most of them were in scope of today's session, as today's session was all about web development. So, if you are having any doubts, feel free to join us on our Telegram community. We will be having a weekly doubt session for all of you so that you can resolve any of your queries there. And I have also one announcement that we will also having a Python workshop, a fully fledged Python workshop. It will be, you can say, a month-long workshop. So I see there are many students here who are interested in learning Python. So we are bringing many things. So stay tuned with us. All right. So that was all from my side. Vikas, you can continue.
Oh, okay. So there is another announcement actually. We will, after the tomorrow's hands-on session, we will launch a week-long challenge. Okay. After the challenge, we will provide some of the winners with Rapid account, which is a premium ID. Okay. You can Hack Club will provide you the premium features of the Rapid ID. Okay, so stay tuned with us. Thank you, Mr. Guru, for your wonderful session.
All right, Vikas, I have one announcement here.
Okay,
Sorry,
sure.
I just forgot it. I request everyone to fill this feedback form which I am sending to mark your presence here, and we can plan our further events accordingly to it. So I request everyone to fill this feedback form.
Thank you, Deepika, for your
Mr. Gaurav,
feedback. And others
Mr.
too.
Gaurav, so you can join us in our WhatsApp or Telegram community group, and you can ask anything you want to like there. right?
Okay, you can ask the admin of the group whatever. You can join. You can DM us. We are always there. So, any other questions from you guys? If you have, then please put them on the chat box, and if not, you can leave the meeting room.
Yeah, also you can like always get back to me on my social media handles if you have any kind of doubts or any kind of uh,
Yeah,
any,
yeah,
any
Guru.
kind of information required.
We will share that with in our community. No problem.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, what we have to do when go to the link actually. So wait a minute, which link? Miss
Which link you are
Jasleen,
talking about?
about which link you're? Yeah, yeah, Kushveer, you can leave now. Okay, you have
Jasleen,
Jasleen, you have
you
asked a question
message.
about some link. So what should we do to get a membership Figma? Okay, we are launching a week-long contest. We will shortly uh, tell you about that contest, what it would be like to.
See, you can leave now. But
So,
if you have any queries, you can ask here, or rather, you can leave.
okay, so
You
what
will get the link to a
we will
tomorrow
ask.
session real quick right now.
Okay,
Tomorrow
wait,
session
wait,
will
wait,
also
wait.
take place at this time only.
Okay, so Mr. Anish, actually, we will be doing a basic workshop on HTML, CSS, and if we get time, we will also go for JS, where we will be creating some projects.
Vikas, hello. I
Okay,
would like to add
yeah,
something.
yeah, sure.
Is my voice audible?
Yeah.
हाँ, तो जिसको भी प्रोग्रामिंग रिलेटेड डाउट है या वेब से अलग डाउट है वो हमारा टेलीग्राम ग्रुप ज्वाइन कर लें। और उसमें अगर हम अगर आप अपनी क्वेरी डालते हैं तो हमारे जो टीम मेंबर्स हैं और भी फेलो मेंबर्स हैं ग्रुप के वो आपको हेल्प जरूर करेंगे, आपको रिसोर्सेज भी देंगे। तो आप टेलीग्राम ग्रुप एक बार जरूर ज्वाइन कर लेना और वहां पर भी आपको काफी डाउट्स आपके क्लियर हो सकते हैं।
Okay, so Apurva, we are recording this session. We will surely give you the link to the session. No problem. We will provide you that. Uh, I would request. Okay. I would request to you guys to leave the meeting room as soon as possible.
It is not premium courses. Actually, we are
Alright,
giving
so let us wind up today's session and see you all
Okay,